My grandma's clock stopped the night she died, but it still ticks when I'm alone. They say when a clock stops, someone dies. That's what my grandmother used to tell me when I was little, her bony fingers tapping the glass face of the grandfather clock that stood sentry in her hallway like a silent guardian. It never ticked. Not once in all the years I visited her house. "It's waiting," she would whisper, eyes far away. Waiting for the right time to start again. When Grandma died, the clock stopped completely. Even the pendulum, which had been frozen mid-swing for as long as I could remember, dropped straight down as if it were exhaling for the first time in decades. The hands pointed to 2:37 a.m. That was the exact time the nurse said she passed away in her sleep. After her funeral, I inherited the house. No one else wanted it. The place had always felt heavy, the way old churches or abandoned hospitals do, and no one in the family was in a rush to live with her memories. I wasn't either. But I didn't have much of a choice. Rent was high, and a free house is a free house, even if it comes with creaking floorboards, drafty halls, and a massive, dead clock looming in the dark. The first night was the worst. Not because of ghosts or shadows, just the silence. The kind of silence that wraps around your head like a cloth and squeezes. I tried playing music, leaving the TV on, anything to fill the space, but it never helped. The house swallowed sound. Swallowed light too. Every room seemed darker than it should be, even in the middle of the day. But that clock started ticking again the third night. I woke up at 2:37 a.m. to the sound of metal on metal, a slow, dragging tick, 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 coming from the hallway. I thought I was dreaming at first. I sat up in bed, my skin prickling, throat dry. The sound didn't stop. Each tick was followed by a soft creak, like the wood inside the clock was groaning under pressure. When I stepped into the hallway, the pendulum was swinging. Back and forth. Smoothly now. Perfectly timed. The hands had moved, it now read 2:38. That's when I noticed the scratches on the floor. Right in front of the clock's base, the hardwood was gouged, like something with claws had crawled out from beneath it. 3 long marks, deep and jagged, heading away from the clock and into the darkness of the hallway. I didn't sleep after that. Every night at 2:37. The ticking starts. Only when I'm alone. If someone else sleeps over, nothing. The clock stays still, frozen like always. But when it's just me, I hear it. I feel it. Like it's measuring my heartbeat. Like it's waiting for me to stop breathing, just like her. Then came the knocking. It started a week after the ticking. Always at 3:12 a.m., the exact moment I'd fall back asleep. It was soft at first. Like knuckles against wood. But it wasn't coming from the front door or the walls. It was coming from inside the clock. I'd lie there frozen, blanket pulled up to my chin like a child, listening to the faint, rhythmic knocks, 3 at a time, spaced about 10 seconds apart. And in between the knocks, sometimes, I'd hear breathing. Not mine. Not anything human. Something wet and slow, like lungs full of water. Sometimes it would whisper. "Let me out." I tried everything. I unplugged the clock. Even though it didn't run on electricity, I thought maybe it would help. I tried boarding up the glass door, chaining it shut. Nothing worked. The ticking continued. The pendulum swung regardless. And then one night, the door to the clock opened by itself. The hinges didn't creak. It didn't fall open violently. It just swung open slowly, like it was inviting me in. I couldn't see anything inside, just blackness, a void that somehow looked deeper than the shallow interior should allow. I stared at it, something deep in my chest tightening. And then, faintly, just faintly, I saw eyes. 2 white eyes, wide and unblinking, floating in the dark. They blinked once, and I ran. I moved out the next day. Packed my things and left the house to rot. But the clock. It didn't stay behind. I didn't take it. I didn't even touch it. But 2 nights ago, I heard the ticking again. In my new apartment. At 2:37 a.m. There's no grandfather clock here. No antique hallway. But the tick, tick, tick is unmistakable. It comes from the wall behind my bed. And last night, I found 3 deep scratches beneath the window. The same claw marks. The same whisper, barely audible as I close my eyes. It knows your time. I tried smashing the wall. Tearing open the drywall. Nothing. Just more silence, until the lights flickered. And the mirror in the hallway caught a reflection that wasn't mine. I don't think it was the clock. I think it was her. Or maybe whatever had been living in the clock all those years, it wasn't trapped. It was fed. kept quiet by her presence. And now that she's gone, it's hungry again. I don't sleep anymore. I can't. Because tonight, at 2:37, the ticking didn't just start. It spoke. And it said, "You're next." I wanted to believe I misheard it. That maybe I'd nodded off and my brain conjured the voice, sculpted from stress and lack of sleep. But it wasn't in my head. I heard it again. Clearer this time, whispering from behind my bedroom wall, just above the headboard. "You're next." The voice didn't sound like my grandmother's. It was too hollow, too empty, like wind passing through a dead tree. It carried something with it, a weight, like the air had thickened in the room. I could feel it press against my skin, my lungs struggling to expand, like I was breathing molasses. I leapt from bed, heart pounding so hard it drowned out the ticking. For a moment. But the clock, or whatever it was now, wasn't done. The ticking grew louder. Not in volume, but in presence. It started to echo in strange ways, bouncing off walls that shouldn't echo, coming from the floor, the ceiling, inside the pipes. Tick. Tick. It was no longer counting time. It was mimicking a heartbeat. Mine. I stood in the hallway staring at my bathroom mirror, the only one in the house, and for the first time in days, I realized the clock had no reflection. When I passed it earlier, its frame didn't appear behind me. Just the empty wall where it used to stand in Grandma's house. But I hadn't brought it with me. I hadn't touched it. I looked down. The claw marks were back. Only this time, they were fresh. Carved into the wood beneath my feet. Still bleeding. Not just scratches, but names. My name. Over and over again. Sarah. 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 I packed a bag and ran. Got in my car and just drove, no destination, no direction. I made it 60 miles before the engine stalled in the middle of an empty stretch of highway. Nothing but fields and fog on either side. And in the silence, under the engine's death rattle, the ticking came back. From the trunk. I stared at the rearview mirror, paralyzed. Then slowly turned the key in the ignition again. Nothing. Just a low mechanical groan. I heard something move in the backseat. Not loud, just the gentle shifting of weight. I didn't look. I couldn't. But the voice whispered again. "She fed me. You left me hungry." The rearview mirror began to frost over from the inside. The glass iced up like someone was breathing on it. Through the thin veil of fog, I saw the eyes again. Those same pale, wet eyes from the clock. Except now. They were closer. No longer tucked away in a crawl space. No longer hiding behind time. I screamed and jumped out of the car, running through the fog until my legs gave out. I don't remember falling. Just waking up later in a hospital bed, and in my arm, an officer asking me about the crash. They found my car in a ditch, completely empty. No signs of anyone else. Not even footprints. But they found a clock. Not in the trunk. Not in the back seat. But embedded in the dashboard. As if it had always been there. Stopped at 2:37. I told them I didn't own a clock like that. They didn't believe me. Who would? I moved in with a friend after I was discharged. Told myself it was over. That maybe the trauma was playing games with my mind. But the ticking came back last night. From her hallway. She said she didn't hear it. That I looked pale and sleep deprived. But this morning, she's gone. Her phone on the table. Her car still in the driveway. But no trace of her. Only one thing left behind. The clock. Sitting on the couch where she usually has her coffee. Pendulum swinging. Hands frozen at 2:37. A note tucked inside the glass. It waits when you run. It feeds when you stop. I can feel it now. The pressure behind my eyes. The sound of ticking hiding beneath every other noise. It's not the clock anymore. The clock was a door. A gate. Now it's inside me. Every blink is slower. Every thought feels borrowed. Like something is wearing me from the inside. I don't know how much longer I have. I can feel it moving behind my ribs, threading through my spine, learning how to smile with my face. So if you ever hear a clock ticking when you're alone. If it starts at 2:37 a.m. Don't look in the mirror. Don't answer when it calls your name. And whatever you do, don't stop it. Because then it's hungry again. And it always finds the next name. Yours. I thought telling the story might save me. That writing it down could act like some sort of exorcism, a way to expel the thing from my bones and throw it into the cold world where it couldn't follow. But it doesn't work like that. Nothing does. Because now the ticking doesn't just come from the clock, it comes from me. The sound is inside my teeth when I grind them at night. It's in the joints of my fingers when I stretch them. It's in the back of my throat, clicking with every swallow. And it's not just a tick. It's a pulse. A countdown. I don't sleep anymore. Not really. When I close my eyes for more than a few seconds, it feels like I'm being watched through the seams of reality. Like something old and heavy is standing just outside the veil of dreams, waiting to press its face through. The first time I saw it in a dream, I screamed so loud I woke with blood running from my ears. It wasn't my voice. I've started finding pieces of the clock in places it shouldn't be. In my bathroom mirror, a brass cog, wedged in the toothpaste. In my shoe, the pendulum, slick with something warm. Beneath my pillow, the minute hand, bent into a perfect spiral like a question mark. Or a hook. I've tried destroying it. I burned it, smashed it, buried it. But it comes back, always ticking, always watching. And each time it returns, it's more than just a clock. The wood is darker now, cracked like old skin. The numbers aren't numbers anymore, they're names. Every single one I recognize. My friend. The nurse from the hospital. The officer who took my statement. My neighbor's dog. And now, at the 12 mark, in gleaming red. You. Yes, you. Because if you're reading this, if the words made their way to your eyes, it's already heard your name. That's how it spreads. Through attention. Through curiosity. Through the foolish belief that reading a story can't hurt you. But this isn't just a story. It's a trap. A ritual. Each paragraph you've read has drawn it closer. Each line, another gear wound in place. It's watching you now. From behind your screen. From the reflection you haven't checked yet. The ticking will begin soon. At first, it will sound like something mundane, a faucet drip, a distant metronome, a ticking pen. But you'll start noticing the rhythm. It's too deliberate. It knows your pace, your habits. It mimics your heartbeat at rest, then speeds up when you're afraid. Then you'll see signs. Small at first. Your name carved lightly into the condensation on the bathroom mirror. A crack in your ceiling shaped like a face. A whisper in a dream, telling you to wake up, it's almost time. And finally, you'll hear it. The voice. It won't sound like me. It won't sound like my grandmother. It will sound like someone you trust, someone who would never hurt you. But it will be lying. Because once it learns your voice, it uses it. You'll say things you don't remember. Answer phone calls you don't recall. People will say they saw you in places you've never been. And always, someone nearby disappears. Then comes the final part. You'll dream of the clock. And in that dream, you'll see your hands nailed to it. Trying to stop time. Trying to hold it back. You won't be able to scream, because by then, the ticking will be inside your skull, replacing your thoughts. Replacing you. There's one way to delay it. Just one. Tell someone else. Share the story. Let them read it. The clock likes new names. It slows when it's learning someone new. But it's only a delay. Not a cure. Because once the clock chooses a name, it never forgets. So, before you go to sleep tonight, check the time. If the clock says 2:37 a.m., you're already marked. If you hear ticking in your house and no one else is home, run. But don't look in mirrors. Don't answer voices. And for the love of whatever soul you have left, don't try to stop the clock. It's not broken. It's just waiting. And this time, it's waiting for you.